Hi, welcome to the UK Gravel Collective YouTube channel, and on today's video I'm going to be doing a ride review of the new Fustle Causeway G2. Now, if you're a follower of this channel, and actually if you're not, welcome, you'll know that I ride this a lot in the videos. And this is a Causeway, a Fustle Causeway G1. It's an aluminium gravel bike with quite a progressive geometry. I tested this about 5 years ago when they first came out in 2020. I loved it so much that I actually bought a frame set and built it up myself. So most of the videos I'm riding this bike, and that's because I love the way it handles. It's very neutral handling, but that doesn't mean it's boring. It means that you can stick it down some stuff that you probably wouldn't think a gravel bike would be safe down. So mountain bike trails, cross-country stuff, not just fire roads. It's a great handling bike. So this is the G2. Now obviously you can see there's a difference. That one is a lot more compact geometry than this one. So this more looks like a mountain bike with a drop bar, I suppose, but it isn't. It is a gravel bike. Now this one is what a more traditional looking gravel bike, but the geometries are quite similar. So I'm hoping that this one is just as much fun as the old one. Now, the massive difference is that this one is carbon fibre. This one is aluminium. So there are a lot of differences in the tube profile, and straight away you can see that room wise this one has a much more compact frame than this one. I love the standover on this one, but when you run a bag in it you do get compromised with the size of bottles you can run. Massive amount of standover, so you can use a dropper post, get that right down and feel really safe hanging over the back going down some really steep stuff off-road. This one's slightly bigger triangle, which is great because you can get bottles in. I've had a flask in, and also this has got more mounts, so you can drop the bottle cage right down or run it up. There's a lot more versatility inside the frame triangle. It's also got top tube mounts if you want. It's got a mount under the down tube. It's got the fork mounts. It's got mudguard mounts. It's got rack mounts. So everything this one's got. This one's got mounts here, but there's more room inside the triangle. Now this one rides fantastic, but it's aluminium. So this one, if it rides as good as that, and there's a bit of weight saving as well, then all to the good. So that's a brief introduction. Now I'm going to go and ride it. I'm going to ride it on local trails that I ride this one on, so I can do a direct comparison of how it feels. Now I've had 2 or 3 rides on it to get the position dialed, because this one and the old Causeway are small, medium, medium, large, large, extra large. The new ones go small, medium, large, extra large. So the actual sizing is slightly different. This is a large, so I've had to dial in bar height, seat height, just to get comfortable, so I can get a direct comparison. And as I say, it's taken 2 or 3 rides with me going out with an Allen key, moving the bars, moving the seat, etc, etc, so I can get it almost exactly that I'm used to on that one. So there's nothing in the way of me feeling how this frame and forks rides compared to that one. You know, if the bars are too low, I might feel, oh, you know, it's a bit twitchy. If the bars are too high, you know, I'm too upright. So I've had to dial that in so they're almost exactly the same. Now, my garden slopes, so obviously it looks a bit weird. They're not the same, but when I'm riding it, it feels good. So what the original Fustle Causeway excelled at, or does excel at, is climbing. as well as descending. So I'm going to do a few climbs. Now you're going to have to put up with me heavy breathing because I've got the microphone on. I'm going to stick you on the chest cam, and bear in mind that I'm a normal person in their 5th decade, so there's going to be some heavy breathing, okay? And I'm going to try and talk to you while I pedal. It's going to be a disaster, but anyway, let's see. It is very lovely and autumnal, and still actually a bit dry, but damp in places. A bit like me. Anyway, so I know a lot of people think of gravel bikes as just something you use on a fire road or tarmac or as a winter bike, but a lot of us are using them on what we used to call cross-country trails, so that we used to ride our mountain bikes on. Nothing super technical, but you know, they can be rooty, off camber, a little bit rocky, and very up and downy. And this is where the geometry of the old bike excelled, because it just flattered you really, because it was probably a slacker steering angle than most road-based gravel bikes, and that gives you loads of confidence when descending and doing climbs. And after a few rides on this bike, this is no different. I know the geometry has been tweaked, I think, and I'll put the actual changes when I do the review on UKgravelCO.com. But apart from the top tube feeling a little bit shorter, so I'm running a slightly longer stem, it feels exactly the same, which is a great thing. I've gone into a bit of the dark woods now, so hopefully the camera is picking this up. Now in winter this is just a complete slog, and it's just about hero dirt at the moment, but the clearance on this bike would allow you to still ride in muddy conditions, because the frame's got loads of room for the mud to get out of. Now this isn't the most technical of climbs, but it just feels super nice. It feels smooth. I've got 45mm tyres with probably 30 psi in the front, 32, 35 in the back probably. About what I have on my other bike. So that shouldn't make a difference. But the frame is lovely. It's when you put your foot down and you put your power on the pedals, it does feel like all your power is heading to the back wheel and driving the bike forward. And I'm happy to say, let's stop and show you that this bike, despite it being a carbon fibre bike, which usually they have a press fit bottom bracket, this one has a threaded bottom bracket. It's a T47, and this one's got an adapter in so you can run Shimano cranks in it. And well, I've only done 3 rides, but I know this has been on a couple of events when the owners used it in some quite muddy, rainy conditions in Northern Ireland, and it's buttery smooth. And when you put your foot, there's no flex, certainly not side to side flex. So compliance up and down, side to side, no, it just feels really as if all your effort's being used to propel the bike. Anyway, we're almost at the top of the climb. Now I've got a bit of a tree down here, so thankfully a shortcut has worn, but there's a big hole there where the tree used to be, and then you've got to get back onto the path, which also appears to be through a tree. And then watching the roots, there's a sharp left-hander. This is bottom gear job. Oh, another tree down by the look of it. Yeah. Oh, that's annoying. Well, thank you, Storm. Amy, I presume. Oh yeah, this one feels and smells really fresh, as it were. Again, apologise for the breathing. If you don't like the sound of an old man wheezing and panting, then I'd drop the volume a bit. Well, looks like I'm going to have to bring my saw up there, cut that back a bit. Now this trail has a bit of off camber, some roots, a drop off on one side, and like I said, it goes down some steps. So this will be a good test of how the lighter weight of the bike affects the handling, because a lot of the stupidly light bikes, they just ping off any rock or root and feel really unstable. You actually want a little bit of weight just to plant the bike. I know that sounds like science bollocks, but it is true. The lighter the bike, the more pingy it gets. And you don't want a pingy bike after you've done 70 miles bike packing or any ride, and at the end of the when you're tired, you do not want to have to concentrate on keeping that bike in a straight line. You want all the help you can get. So let's see how it goes. So clip you on. Say hi to the magpie for luck, and hope we don't meet anyone coming up the other way, because it is a popular walking route as well, and hopefully there won't be any trees down either. I haven't ridden it since the storms, so who knows. Oh, it's very dry. It's very dry. Usually on that compression there's a big slick muddy bit, which if you've not got the tyres right, you end up on the floor. Yeah. Now the roots. Hold on, Jats. Okay. Now the road. Let's be careful. Nothing coming. And now the steps. Uneven, wooden, used by horses. Great. But at least they're dry. I'm not going to try dropping off them. Now the fast bit, where again I hope there's no trees down. Woo! Yeah, hands off the brakes. Yeah, still super dry. It's that patch there. He's locally known as the tank slapper because it does catch you unawares. Now we've sort of got your trad gravel. Now, how did it feel down that descent on the roots and the rocks? Well, it felt okay, to be honest. It felt quite smooth. But I do know the track, which always helps, so you know which bits to avoid. How long's the grass? Oh, it's not too bad. So let's try some wet grass. Grass is my least favourite surface to ride on. Wet bumpy grass, yeah, lovely. I can't believe I'm recording this in October. It's like 18 degrees. What's that all about? And 2 days ago we had 60 mile an hour winds. Crazy. But not complaining. Knees and elbows out, maybe for the last time. It does feel easy to steer, I have to say. Oh, yeah, we have got a tree down. Oh, but it's avoidable. Now, if you are used to very narrow, unflared road bars, I'd recommend not putting them on your gravel bike. Get the widest ones that you feel comfortable with. They'll give you so much more control on any descent, especially if you're on the drops, this part. And this bike does seem very forgiving in that department. Right, now we've come down, so we've got to go back up again. So you don't want to watch me and listen to me pant up as I climb. So I'll see you at the next descent. Okay, so we need to address the T word, and that's tarmac. What's it like on tarmac? I mean, who cares? But some people do. So let's do a couple of tarmac roll-on descents and see what we think. Right, so smooth tarmac. Now, this bike is one by, it's only got one chainring at the front. So if you're intending to use this as a multi-use bike on the road and off-road, but you want to hang with club rides, then I'd recommend getting a double chain set, just so you can hang with the change of speeds that they have, especially if they're on road cassettes and road chain rings. But yeah, as you can see, if you can hear me, it bowls along nicely. Which is one of the benefits of being heavy myself. Downhill, pick up speed quite quickly. It's going back the other side, up the other side, that it's different. See that? Why? Why do you want to ride with that? It just encourages you to get out the saddle and put the hammer down. It's very road bike like in that way. Oh, I must remember not to hum a recognisable tune, or a video will get blocked. The bike feels really good. It'll keep a nice line over the chattery stuff. Oh, must remember that in the night ride. does encourage you to put it onto the next gear and press down on the pedals, which is not a bad thing. Now, reading the blurb about this frame, it's obviously it's Chinese carbon, but Alistair, the designer, said he's put extra carbon in the places where the bike needs to be stiffer and standard where it needs to be compliant. And he certainly, from riding it these last few days, he certainly knows what he's talking about. Just again, I keep bleating on about it, but when you put your foot down, it just surges forward. And that's why I'm out of breath. I'm trying hard to keep up with how fast the bike wants to go. And unfortunately, I know fast descender. So you'll just have to put up with my normal person riding style. Which I hope this resonates better with you than having some paid professional rider, super fit, super young, doing all the things that you'd aspire to, but in reality, oh, this is a bit, yeah, it's a bit loamy here. In reality, you're just dicking about on bikes, aren't we? We're just having fun. We're not worried about Strava segments, what our FTP's like, max power, average speed. That's all just bollocks. What it is going as fast as you can, as fast as you want, way tree down, and just loving it. Okay, rooty part now, I mean rutty. Okay, out of the ruts, stay out of the ruts, stay out of the ruts. I've also got to watch badgers down here. They tend to just chuck the soil out to a great big mound that wasn't there 2 days before, the last time you rode it. Oh, I go wide on this. Oh, I'm in the rut, I'm in the rut. I want to get out the rut. Oh, ah. Okay, busy road. No, not busy road, but as traffic. Oh, hit the brakes. Woo! Well, if you're still with me, that was epic fun. That is a no-go area in the winter because it just gets really swampy. But wow, this bike, it puts a smile on your face, definitely. So I've done a few rides on it now, and I suppose the question is, how does it compare to the old bike? Well, almost exactly the same, because it rides just as good. I know there's been a few tweaks with the geometry, but yeah, I'd be happy on either bike. The fact that this size for size is around 700 grams lighter, so 1.5 pounds, it does make a difference. The extra tyre clearance also will make a difference. So if I had the money, I'd definitely swap to the carbon version, but I'm equally happy on the aluminium version. It's got slightly less room in the triangle on the aluminium version, but I've lived with that for the last 5 years, so you know, it's nothing really. But if you want a lightweight all-rounder that's going to flatter your riding style, put a smile on your face, and be a do anything bike, then the Fustle Causeway G2 is definitely one you should look at. Now, if you'd like to see more reviews of bikes and reviews of kit, then please subscribe, share, check out UKgravelCO.com, where the words for this review are going to be, so a little bit more in depth. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Oh, and thanks for Alistair at Fustle for trusting me with his bike. See you soon.